www.DESIblitz.com.
I'm basically the manager of a project called SUIT. It stands for the Service User Involvement Team, and it was founded in February 2007, and it's been set up to help people who have suffered from addiction, whether it's drugs or alcohol, to support their peers, i.e. other people going through the similar issues. Within the project there's 4 staff members and there's 12 volunteers. We actively recruit people who are either using treatment services or have accessed treatment services in the recent past, and we train them and encourage them and give them education to be able to support the suffering addict. My experiences with drugs started at a very early age. My family somewhat thought that I was rebellious from a young age. I think I was more inquisitive as to what the world was about. So I started using cannabis from a very young age, from the age of 13 or 14, and kind of, enjoyed that. It's quite fun. I wasn't doing something that was mainstream at that time. So that then transpired to me. I ended up being introduced to heroin when I was at university, and that had a massive detrimental effect and basically caused a black hole in my life. So, using those substances, initially it was social, group of friends, we all chip in together, put money in together. Within a very short space of time, due to the nature of those substances that I was taking, it ended up being, from 6 people to 5 people, to 3 people to 2 people, to me by myself.
My nightmare began through, I'll call it the stresses related in family life, situations that I kind of blocked in, couldn't share with other people, and I met up with an old friend that I at that time called a friend, introduced me to a substance, what I would now call the devil's drug, which was cocaine. And at that time I took this cocaine, we made a line, I took this substance and made me feel like all my pain, sorrows, stress had vanished, and it made me be able to conquer the world in a better and easier way. I went away, and 2 days later stress started to occur again, and I phoned my friend and went back and used the substance again, and the feeling came back, and then I started to notice every time I was going to my friend, I was paying for this drug, this devil's product, and I was only getting a quarter of it, and he was using most of it. So I started to find where I can get the product myself, and this is where the nightmare began.
Well, my experience with alcohol, like any Asian growing up, really, I grew up around alcohol, but the difference is at that time, I didn't like what I saw, I didn't like the pubs, so I decided never to drink. I got a degree, went through education, I was a sober driver. Once I got my degree, I moved to Canada, raised 2 beautiful children, had the success everybody dreams of. It came to me fast and easy. So then I dabbled in social drinking. Social drinking started off, then I started binge drinking. Before I know it, I became the person I never wanted to be.
I wasn't interested in eating food, I wasn't interested in buying clothes, I wasn't interested in going to parties, and because of that, people within my community and family started questioning where I was. Now, this period of time must have been very difficult for my parents, because what could they say? They felt the shame come directly onto them, but at that point it was no concern to me. My only concern was getting through that day with the things that I needed to get me through that day. I remember walking into my mum and dad's bedroom at 4 o'clock in the morning to look through their budwear and find out if I could get any money, if I could find something, because I knew when I woke up that very morning that I would need what I needed to get me through the day.
I had a divorce, and that's it. I was living on my own, and I don't know, there's millions of reasons why I started drinking. But basically, I was living on my own. I met a few people in the pub, and it hit me like a rock. My house was a party house, And this was 15 years I've been fighting this battle.
The real people that get affected and hurt are your loved ones, the ones that you can't communicate with, the ones that are trying to communicate with you, the ones that are looking at you and saying that you look half dead.
Now, my treatment journey was a bit tumultuous. What really affected that was my relationship with my family, because my family didn't understand what I was going through, and I wasn't really open and honest with them in terms of my experiences. A, because I didn't want to be. B, would they have understood? Possibly not. Ultimately, you know, that made my treatment journey last longer than it should have done. But what happened in the end is I managed to undertake something called a community detox. So I detoxed rather than going away to a nice part of the world. I did it in my mum and dad's house. My mum was my nurse for 10 days of my life. She fed me, she helped me get up, she helped me get through one of the most difficult periods in my life.
Through recovery, I was introduced to the recovery service 7 months prior to actually taking the responsibility and taking the role of a father back on, taking the role of being a man and saying no. And I've always had that attitude that I can stop tomorrow. And then when I came to a stage where I put on the spot saying, I'm going to leave you and you're not going to see your kids. That opened the doors to reality. And that's when I thought to myself, I have to stop. And I went and got advice from the Suit company, and they gave me the education and support for it. To this day I haven't used a substance for 12 weeks, but it's still an obstacle, and I think this obstacle will be carried on for the rest of my life.
And this was 15 years I've been fighting this battle. Right, and I've come back to England. I moved back to England thinking I could fix this problem. Nobody in England knew I had this problem. Now everybody knows, and that's one of the reasons I'm out here, because I don't care who knows, because that's a problem with our society, especially the Indian community, the Asian community. If you've got a problem, we need to be honest, because that's the only thing that helped me. Once I was totally honest, I could not fix this problem by myself. I started getting help, like Suit. I am 5 months sober right now, and that may sound small to a lot of people. That 5 months, I feel better in this 5 months than I have felt in 15 years.
Substance misuse amongst Asian people is on the rise, just the same as it is with any other ethnic groups. Is that, you know, within the Asian community, people don't tend to want to be forthcoming about any problems that they're having because of the shame that might come to them within society. But I say to hell with that. Ultimately, this is about people's lives. People need to come forward if they are struggling with anything in their life.
I think everybody knows it is, and I wish everybody was come out their closets on this. It is a common problem. The only difference is a lot of Asian women have dealt with this problem and have hidden it, and marriages have lasted, but the society is changing. Behind everyone goes out to parties, weddings, and they're drinking in pubs. That's fine, but behind their closed doors in their family circles, they're hurting, they're crying. The families down the road are talking about the other family. Oh, he's a drunk, he's an alcoholic, but they're not helping him. They're not helping him all. Let's get real with this problem. Let's help each other.
Within the Asian community, we do not talk. We don't talk about drugs. We don't talk about alcohol, the problems. All we talk about, what we say, what I've heard in my experience is, don't touch it, it's bad. And when you say to somebody, don't do it, they always have that in their mind. Why shouldn't we do it? We should go forward. Why? I want to try it.
There's no words that can describe my life now. I do a job that I love. I help thousands of people every day, every year. You know, I train people who are coming out of prison, who are drug and alcohol users. They're getting jobs. I've helped 88 people back into work in the last 2 years. You know, we get people into education. Just because there are people within your close vicinity that do not understand, or even within your network of friends that don't understand, does not mean that there are not people out there that are willing to help you. The most important thing that you need to do is recognise that you have a problem. Once you have that recognition, then it's about contacting the right people who can offer you the right support and help you to help yourself to move forward with your lives.